guys, welcome to another episode of Be Built by Broser. Today we are going to continue our unilateral training series. I always just love to point out why we do unilateral training. We do it for a few reasons. Number one, it's very good to focus on one side of the body when you're training. It helps to give you better nerve force to the side of the body that you're training, gives you a little more focus and concentration, so it helps with overall development. And of course, it's also great for people who have strength imbalances on one side of the body or the other, because often when we use exercises with two arms or two legs at a time, the stronger side will take over for the weaker side, and this gets worse and worse over time. So if you do some unilateral training, it will help to balance this out. So we're going to do 4 back exercises today using one arm at a time, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the show and benefit from it. Okay, so the last one we're showing you today is on a lat pull down. As you can see, he's sitting with the left side of his body facing the machine to work the right side. Now he's not sitting on the seat. I actually have him sitting on a box because I need him to get a little bit lower to allow him to get a full stretch at the top. Remember, when we're working the lats, getting this full stretch is one of the most important aspects of the movement. So he's turning his hand so his palm is facing front at the top, and he's rotating as he comes down and bringing his elbow down. And this really works the entirety of the lat, from insertion to origin to insertion. A great isolation movement. And again, especially when we're working in the back, we want to hit a lot of different angles, grips, and planes of motion. And this is just another one that hits the back in a unique angle. Don't try to hit all of these movements in one workout, but just pick at least one unilateral movement per workout. Give it a shot. Okay, the first exercise I want to show you is a one-arm dumbbell row, but actually it's being done more for the middle back rather than the lats. As you can see, his arm is turned outward as if he was doing a wide grip barbell bent row, but he's doing it with a dumbbell. He's using his non-working hand to support his body on the bench. He's bringing the dumbbell up rather high to about chest level, keeping the elbow out, and this will help to work the mid-back muscle and build more thickness back there, so give this one a shot. Okay guys, the next movement we're using is a single arm high pulley row. We're using a box to sit on today. Of course, you can use a bench as well. You can see how he has his legs, which helps him to get a better stretch at the top and also stabilize the torso a little better. Now as he stretches to the top, he's turning his palm flat to the floor, which again helps to get a better stretch on the lat. But then as he brings it back, he's bringing it close to the body and turning the wrist so that it face inward towards him. This is a great exercise for working the lats right up towards the top. Of course, we're not isolating any portion of the lats, but we are looking to affect different motor unit pulls with each exercise, so we get different angles and lines of pull. So this is excellent for building the lats up towards the top, getting a nice wide back. Give it a shot. Okay, so this next exercise is done on a hammer machine, a hammer low row. Most people will do this with both arms at the same time, and I like to do it with one arm at a time. As you can see, he's using an underhand grip. As he's bringing the weight towards him, his elbow is staying close to the torso, so this will activate the lats, or the width in the back more than anything else. He's keeping his body pretty much upright, chest is high, and he's just squeezing back until he gets a nice contraction in the lats right along this area here. And he's doing it, as you can see, with his feet, kind of like in a one-arm row position where the right leg is back and the front leg, the left leg, is up front. Excellent movement for the lats right here.
Hi Merlin, so we're back outside. The sun is back in California, as it should be.
Yes, as we're used to.
Oh my God. It's really cool lately because a lot of people have been posting a lot of comments on the YouTube platform and asking us, you know, certain things that they would like us to talk about, and we really appreciate, because sometimes, I mean, we've been doing the show for like 4 years now.
Yeah.
So sometimes we kind of run out of ideas, or we're just not sure what would you guys like to see. So you thought about doing something cool maybe over the next few episodes once we're done with the unilateral, series.
Yeah.
So talk about that for a second.
Yeah, well, actually, you and I came up with this together, and we thought it'd be a great idea to start doing more detailed workouts for each body part, but not only just showing an exercise, but actually discussing the rep range that we might want to use, the tempo, and all the different details about the movement and why we're doing it.
So the full workout, basically.
So the full workout. So like, in other words, show you a full chest workout.
Yeah.
A typical one, obviously we do different ones all the time.
Yeah.
But maybe a typical workout, or maybe even a couple of different types that we do using my different training methods, but also putting up a graphic so you could see how many sets we do, how many reps we do. Because we do get asked that a lot of times after they see an exercise and say, well, how many reps?
Sets, exactly.
So yeah, so we want to start doing a series, so we hope that that's something you guys will enjoy. So let us know if that sounds like a good idea to you.
Yeah.
And also, if you guys have any ideas, just put them up on the YouTube page.
Or suggestions.
Yeah, just make suggestions. If there's something you want to see us cover on the show, whether it be an Ask Merlin question, or whether it be an exercise, a technique, anything, let us know, because we are shooting this for you guys.
Yeah.
So.
All right, thank you. Okay, Merlin, what's the first question?
Well, I figured this was a good question because we're again kind of going around now into competition season where it's all going to start beginning. People are getting ready for shows. And somebody asked me about presentation on stage. They wanted to know how important I feel presentation is on stage in terms of how you will get judged at a show. So in other words, where does it rank up along with how good your physique is and so on and so forth? And I think that's a good question because I don't think a lot of people pay enough attention these days to their presentations on stage. And that goes for not only their mandatory posing, no matter what it is division that you're in, but also for your posing routines as well, but especially from the mandatory posing, because posing routines aren't generally judged anymore. Usually the shows are judged at the pre-judge, so your mandatories is what's going to be really important. So it's very, very important that you focus on a few different things with your mandatory posing. Number one, you have to look confident when you're out there, whether it be with a smile or just a confident look on your face. You should project to the audience and to the judges that you feel confident, that you feel good about what you're presenting. That's the first thing. A lot of people look down at the ground, or they just look like they're just not focused, or they look like they're not confident in themselves, and that will play a part in the judge's decision, whether it be consciously or subconsciously. The second thing is that you have to be able to hold your poses long enough without shaking, without looking like it's too hard work, even though it is. And this is why you need to practice your posing leading into a show for weeks before, because you need to build that endurance. It's not the same as doing a workout. It's completely different, just holding and tensing and squeezing and staying in position for sometimes 5, 10, 15 seconds at a time. You want to make it look effortless, and this is something that people like Lila Brada and Bob Paris and Arnold Schwarzenegger, those people perfected back in the day, and that helps them project a better image on stage. Next, you have to know what your strong points and your weak points are. You have to know what works best for your body, what positions you need to hold, how your body looks best in each pose. You want to emphasize your strong points and de-emphasize your weak points. And a lot of times you'll see superior physiques lose out to physiques that aren't as good simply because they didn't present themselves well on stage. So let me just say again, it is very, very important to learn how to pose properly, hold your poses, and look confident on stage, because this absolutely can affect the judge's decision in the end.
Okay, Merlin, you got something else?
Yeah, one more question I wanted to address is about the topic of NSAIDs. And I was asked, what effect, are there any negative effects to taking NSAIDs before you train or after you train? And I have talked about it before, and it's definitely worth repeating because it's significant what they can do. First of all, I should mention our good friend Sean Roden, who is, congratulations, Mr. Olympia. He had a huge problem, I believe, with taking too many NSAIDs. At some point, he actually caused an ulcer in his stomach, which caused a lot of pain, a lot of bleeding and discomfort, and almost forced him it did force him out of competing, I believe, at the Arnold. So first of all, it can have an effect like that where you actually can cause problems with your stomach. Obviously, we don't want to face those problems. Second of all, it actually can cause lack of muscle growth. It can affect and impede the anabolic process that takes place, which we need to take place after we work out. When we work out, we are damaging muscle fibers, and there's an inflammatory response. That inflammatory response is necessary to take place in order for the anabolic process or the growth process to take place. It's being sore is actually, even though it could be uncomfortable, it's actually a good thing. That soreness means that you are causing damage and that you are causing that inflammation to take place. And like I said, it's necessary for this to happen for us to start to grow. So if you're taking NSAIDs before or after training or overusing them, this will impede that process because it's an anti-inflammatory. So by taking away from that the inflamed response, we're going to not have the same optimal anabolic reaction that we want to have. So I'll basically say that while I wouldn't discourage somebody from taking it if they may have pushed it too far, or if they have an injury that they're trying to heal, obviously they do have their uses. But certainly you shouldn't be taking it every day or too often to try to keep from feeling sore, because you will negatively affect muscle growth. And this can happen with antioxidants as well, and a lot of supplements that are anti-inflammatory, like blueberry extract, pomegranate extract, turmeric, those kinds of things. So if you are going to use those supplements, I would encourage you to take them far away from the workout, like if at least 6 hours before or 6 hours after, so you won't impede the progress that much. So watch out for the NSAIDs, again, for the stomach problems and for impeding muscle growth.
Awesome.